Hey, what's up? What's up? Joe in Vegas back with another review. This one you might find interesting. Yes, I cannot lie. I did this because of what is going on in the news with the submarine. It's not the main reason I did it, but let's face it. This whole world has been talking about the people that died going down in that submarine to go see the Titanic. It's kind of reopened this fascination with the Titanic. The story's horrible, don't get me wrong. It's a really fucked up story, but I believe in my heart if there were just 5 rich guys looking for a pirate ship or something, it would be a one-day news story. The fact that it was the Titanic opened up this interest. I mean, the popularity of Titanic is I mean, the movie's one of the biggest movies of all time. It's hundreds of years later. People are still fascinated, and it's an incredible story. It's just on every level. It checks every box. So people love the Titanic. So when you have something like this that stirs up the whole Titanic story again, people are going to jump on it. So it hit me this week that I can't even tell you how many drunken nights I have walked past this thing. I like the movie. I like the story. It's a part of history. It's a huge part of history. But I always assumed incorrectly, that I learned last night, that there were maybe a couple dishes, a broken cup, maybe a fucking anchor, a pair of glasses inside of this thing. I am not even exaggerating. This is 100% true. This thing is in between Carrot Top and a McDonald's on the floor. It is in the middle of the Luxor casino. It's a sign. It's next door is this thing called Bodies that I've seen, and I actually want to go back. I haven't seen it in years, and I should probably do a review on it, which is really cool. It's in the, I don't want to get into it, but Bodies is next door. It's also an exhibit, and then there's a King Tut one on the other side of it that I don't know anything about at all. And then there's this Titanic. But right in front of it is the Carrot Top Theater, and to the left of it is a food court with a McDonald's. I mean, it is the most unassuming thing. I have walked by it 1,000 times, and just dismissed it. Like, it's probably all right, but I don't need to see 3 dishes and a pair of glasses. And that's it. And that I had a few criticisms. Let me say, this is an incredible place. This is a very, very, very positive review of this thing. Highly recommend it to everybody, locals and tourists. But there were 3 things that I found, or 2 things really, that I found wrong with it. The biggest one is I just think they dropped the ball on the advertising of this place. I had no idea what was inside, and that's why I dismissed it for years. And I've talked to friends last night and this morning, and everybody's told me the same thing. No one's even really thought to go there because it just seems so blah, and it's not at all. So let me start with the cost. So the cost is, for Vegas, incredibly affordable. It's I paid $27, I think, because I'm a MGM Rewards member. So I think there's a deal for that if you are a Rewards member. I'm sure there's probably a local discount. That was the basic tour without the headsets. If you want like an audio to guide you through a tour, I think it was like $5 or $10 more than that. Pretty affordable for what you're going to get, and I'll get into what you're going to get. I bought the tickets that day online, a few hours before, so that's not an issue. And you go to see it at the Luxor. I'm still kind of amazed by this place, to be honest with you. I like I said earlier, I thought it was a handful of just plates and dishes. No. First of all, I don't even know. It's a doorway that goes to a back area. This place is huge. You go room to room to room to room. It is so well done. The lighting, the themes, the vibe, there's a room. I'll try and match the pictures with the audio, but there's like, you go into a room and it's like the deck. You're out on the deck of the Titanic. It's rebuilt the deck and they have stars over the what's it called? The railing. So you can stand on the railing and you feel like you're looking over the ocean. You go into another room and there's like bunk beds there. That's how they used to sleep. You look like you're looking down the cabin hallway that goes into all the different cabins. There was an iceberg room, which was a real iceberg. I mean, they tell you can touch it. You can actually, it's one of those few things. Usually they say don't touch anything, but it's one of the things you can touch. There was a big hunk of ice that's frozen that you can touch. So the what's the word? The aesthetics, the ambiance that they created, each room going room to room was fantastic. They had so much shit from the bottom of the Titanic. I cannot believe that this is in Las Vegas. I just cannot believe it. You feel like this should be in like some of the biggest museums in the world. It's at the fucking Luxor next door to Carrot Top. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense to me. And that's why I dismissed it, because they never really advertise it. If they do, they're not doing it well. This should be all over, especially now. This should be all over TikTok. This should be all over YouTube. I mean, I think there's a younger generation that's interested in Titanic because of the movie. After that, I'm not sure if these kids care at all. This might have helped a little bit. But what happened with the submarine really said to myself, I'm going to go check it out. Let's see what it is. And I'm so happy I did. The other two downsides I had, so there were two. So when you walk in, as you're betting, there's a green screen with the front of the ship, the railing, and if you want, you can take a picture where you can do the pose from Titanic, which is real funny to have a picture like that if you're on a date, or even if you're with a guy, it's even funnier. But it was one of those things that felt very Disneyland. You couldn't take your own pictures. They'll take a picture for you, and if you want to buy it, you can buy it. It's $20 a picture, which always pisses me off. It's a fucking digital picture. It doesn't cost you anything. If you sold them for $5, you would sell 1,000 more. So little advice to anybody running this show. Stop being so fucking greedy. You don't need to charge $20 for a digital picture. You're not letting people take pictures. You're going to take the picture for them. I don't know. My opinion, sell it for $5. You'll sell 1,000 more. And then there's a second part of the grand staircase. It's obviously not the real grand staircase, but it's a recreation from the ship and the movie. It's they say don't take pictures. I snapped a couple pictures because I'm a scumbag. But same deal. You could take a picture with your loved one, with your family up on the staircase. You can't take the picture. They have to take the picture, and you got to buy it in the gift shop for $20. So if you wanted a picture with your girlfriend or wife, doing the pose from Titanic, and then one with your girlfriend or wife or family on the staircase, you're talking $40 for 2 digital pictures. Bullshit. That's the only complaint. Everything else from this place was incredible. I was blown away. And I haven't gotten to the main part yet. So throughout room to room, it's everything you can imagine. There's personal items, there's perfumes, there's money, there's chandeliers, there's dishes, everything. It's just amazing how well preserved these things are. It's amazing. You cannot believe that sat at the bottom, not even the bottom of the ocean, a deep, deep, deep part of the bottom of the ocean for hundreds of years, or 100 years to 80 years, whenever they brought it up. And it's just the way it was preserved and how well it's preserved is incredible. But what I didn't know, and this again goes back to the lack of advertising, one of the final rooms you get to, and you should know the way it's set up there is kind of like kitschy, but I guess it's something. They give you a boarding pass when you get there, and in it they assign you a random person that was on the Titanic. It's I got assigned some guy named Hickman or something. A person I was with got a reverend, and it gives you a little history on the person, and you carry it around the whole time. And when you get to the last room, you scan it, and they tell you they give you a little paragraph on the person's history, but they also tell you if you lived or died. So a little thing. It's a nice little thing. Cool little entertainment value there. But the biggest part of that whole attraction is something called the Big Piece that I personally didn't even know existed. I still can't. I mean, it was so fascinating that even on the drive home, we watched a 15-minute clip documentary on how the hell this came out from the bottom of the ocean. This is the largest single section from the Titanic that was raised. It's a 20-ton, I don't know how big it is, 20, 40 feet, I'm guessing. It's probably 25 to 40 feet, somewhere now. There's a big section with I'll show you the video. I have the video and whole little glass windows that are still, parts of the glass are still in there. It is the biggest section of the ship known to man that's been pulled up. And it's in Las Vegas next door to Carrot Top. I don't understand how it's there. It's fascinating. It's incredible. It's such an incredible part of the history of our world and the history of humanity. And it's in between Carrot Top and a McDonald's, which is fine. They can't move that thing. There's nowhere to move it to because that place is perfect and it's massive. But it should be advertised. It should be advertised how awesome this thing is. And there's so much more. But that, I think, was the highlight. That sent me overboard. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this a 9.9. It was that good. I would go back in a heartbeat with anybody visiting in town. It's very affordable. It takes about an hour. Depends on how fast or slow you go. We went pretty fast because I was going to a Keith Urban concert after. So this was kind of like a throw-in. But if I wanted to take my time or take the audio tour, I think it would have been a 2-hour experience probably. But you're at your own pace. You can do whatever you want. I enjoy doing that. It's better than being on a tour. And that's it. I mean, this place is a hidden gem. It is a shame that they don't advertise it the way they do in Las Vegas, outside of Las Vegas. This has got to be one of the best Titanic exhibits in the world, where you'll see so many things that were brought up and such history, including the biggest thing. I mean, that big piece is, we looked it up. It is like a very well-known victory that they brought that up. How they brought up a 20-ton piece of ship from 13,000 feet it's a thing on its own. There's a whole YouTube video about it that we watched. Anyway, this is getting long for Titanic, but it's really incredible. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I will be back for sure. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, comment if you've been there. Let me know what you think. Take care. I'll see you at the next show or non-show. Bye-bye.